You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Oh.
It's Niall.
Harry.
And it's me, Brian. He thought he was more recovered from whatever he had last Thursday. But apparently his mouth is not working quite correctly.
That's all right. You only have to talk.
That's it. Yes. What the problem could there be? We are talking the anime that aired the 2 weeks of July the 15th to July the 28th. I was ill, and Niall was in another country.
I was fine. I was up for talking, but no one wanted to.
We start off with Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, Episode 2, Bucket List of the Dead, and Episode 3, Best Friend of the Dead. Episode 2 involves our hero deciding he's going to spend all day drinking, and oh dear, he hasn't got enough beers to spend all day drinking, so he's going to go to the shops.
I know this terror that clutches your heart all too well.
I do like the way the show keeps cutting to different zombie apocalypse movies that are happening in the background of the show, where it's like, you know, the couple locked in their apartments, like, oh my god, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive? And they see a dude climbing on the drain pipe. He's like, do you need anything in the shops? And she's like, toilet paper. And he's like, yeah, no bother. I'll be back in a bit. Just.
Oh, I can get a bike. Yeah, expect that. I can get a scooter. No, fuck that. I can get a motorbike. Yeah, now we're cooking.
Now you're living the zombie apocalypse. Yeah.
Got to dream big, man.
He gets to the shop where he runs into a woman, another survivor, and tries to save her from zombies, but she saves him from being run over by a truck. Driven by a zombie.
And we get their meet cute from two different points of view, where his point of view is like, I'm singing the beer song, time for me to, oh, hello. This is awkward. And then her thing is like, what the fuck is this guy doing? It's survival, damn it.
At the end of the episode, we see her progress up to that point.
Yeah.
Where you see, unlike him, she is super organized. It's definitely, this is where the COVID analogy becomes very visible, because she's the one who's keeping careful notes of everything she's got to do. She's doing Peloton.
She's doing research. She's got I assume, rented a bunch of zombie movies or taken them for research purposes to see what kind of things you should be expecting, what tropes to expect. Yeah,
it's why people gravitated towards like viral infection virus films during that sort of thing, because it's just because we kind of see the kind of thing unfold in a fictional thing. It can help you to try and relativize and process what doing with in the actual real life. And but is she not just trapped by her job as well?
Her job of survival in this case, yeah. Also, she keeps checking in to see if anyone's logging in on the work website.
Come on.
Anyone alive? No.
I want to be the only one.
The punchline is, while she's like more organized than he is, she's pondering her decision to avoid eating too much sugar when she sees how much joy he was getting from a simple can of beer, that maybe she should have got the sugary snack in the convenience store when she was there after all.
I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse. Who knows if they're going to have, what was it, like raspberry mochi or something, and it's probably going to go off as well. So,
it's not going to keep forever. Yeah.
Your bleak zombie story of this episode is, as he was leaving, he goes past the apartment where a couple are pondering their doom, and then when he comes back with the stuff he said he'd fetch for them, they appear to have been attacked by zombies.
Maybe they fought their way out. Maybe. I don't know.
There's a lot of paint splatters in that apartment.
Yeah, they announced the birth. It's all these genders.
Then episode 3, Best Friend of the Dead, we are introduced to there's a host as well. There's
yes.
I think there's another. Is there another zombie apocalypse one, either in the first one or second one, where it's a guy holding off a horde? But in this case, in the third, it's the host club defending their patrons from the zombie apocalypse. All the hot boys are out to fight, and I did like the zombie horde is all women. I was like, that's pretty funny. That's a good joke. It's not something you can make a movie out of, but it's a fun premise for this, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I could give them ideas.
Yes, I've not played the Yakuza zombie game, so I don't know if this scene appears in there.
It feels like it should. Yeah.
Yes, there is a most of your allies in the early games are the guys who work at the host club. So, yes, we introduced to the best host in town and the other guys who work at his club, and they're going to protect, I guess, the one remaining customer who's still in the building.
They're still loyal to their clientele, and their clientele needs to be protected from zombies in this case. Yeah.
There's other people there. You see, like, they're huddled up in all the seating booths and that.
But the way it's initially presented, like, your one's really shy, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll be right back. I just gotta."
She's like fucking 9. She's just.
I mean, if she's a paying customer, then he has to serve, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Throughout the episode, we're seeing them fight off the zombies in the same area of town as our hero's best friend is. He's like, yeah, he will have survived. I've got to get hold of him. But he has survived. He was at a love hotel. Luckily, he chose the bondage-themed room. So the woman he is with, who's turned into a zombie, is changing the world.
Unfortunately, that means he's been locked in the bondage room of a love hotel for 3 days, and he's running out of supplies, basically. He drank everything in the mini fridge. Like, he's been conserving it, but, it's like, I'm fucked. I'm in a lot of trouble.
You kind of wonder what sort of shenanigans were going on down here before zombies even got into it, because there was a lot of zombies in very outrageous costumes wandering around.
Someone's into clown sex. I mean, that's bound to fucking happen.
Basically. Yeah, what's the chicken suit about?
Hey man, fucking consenting adults, leave them to it. All right.
Okay, there's another day on the farm, huh?
But yeah, he's like, as he's running out of the last bit of water, drinking this, it's like, my God, I remember those happy days back in college where I made my friend fart with my hilarious fucking comedy. Why am I thinking of that now? It's like, oh, he's ringing me on the phone because the phones are back up, and as your man realizes, like, oh, brilliant, the internet's back up because nobody's using the internet, so there's a lot of fucking spare bandwidth. Okay, yeah, I'll give my man a buzz. It's like, hey, where are you? It's like, downtown. It's like, there, I'll be there in 5.
He's just been texting everybody and saying, "Hey, if you still need something to go surfing with you, I'm up. I'm free right now. I'm free this weekend. Just get going down through the whole list. It's like, that thing I missed out on. If ever go do it again, hey, I'm good for whatever,
Yeah, and it's like, oh, because it's the zombie apocalypse, you have a lot of free time. It's like, nah, I quit my job, so fucking let's hang out. It'll be cool. Be like old times, and we kind of get like the cutting back to the past of their relationship, and back when your man was like, I am super popular with being some sort of sales type person. It wasn't specific what he was
worked
doing,
in real estate,
that kind of thing. Yeah, sure. And him just going like, fuck you, you're living the fucking life, Larry, and this is I'm in a black company. It sucks. My life is terrible, and they didn't part on good terms, which is the unfortunate thing. And that was like a year ago they went drinking, I think, the last time.
Yeah, but secretly, you see that, like, I also hated my job. It came with a lot of perks, but it was also empty and vapid, man. It's like stroking the egos of all these fucking, like, rich motherfuckers. It wasn't me, man. I wanted to do stand up.
Because he's kind of seeing his friend again, and the first thing he does is apologize for being shitty, and like he loudly apologizes, and then it's like, probably shouldn't have loudly apologized. All the zombies are now in our location. Come on, we got to go to the roof. Come, we'll jump to the next roof. And the guy's like, I haven't eaten in like 3 days.
You could do it, man. You want to be a stand-up comedian or not? I was like, I do. I want to live. I want to make people laugh.
I was half thinking watching it. I was like, they're not going to do the comedy thing of like he jumps across and then fucking like splats. Like that's going to be the big joke, because it seemed to be leading up to that big joke. I was like, you're not going to go that super cynical kind of humor. Yeah,
no, it was okay. Like, he's in the opening. I guess first thing on his bucket list, like, bleach his hair, because that's a comedian looks like. But,
yeah.
Almost dies. All his clothes fall off, but it's all done.
No, they don't fall off. He took them off. That's his entire comedy bit. I'll take all my clothes off. The funniest thing you could do.
Well, yes, if you watched Documental, then yes, that quite is often what they resort to to make each other laugh. So, because we know the zombies are attracted by sound, because that's how he gets to him early on, is by taping a rugby ball to the horn of the car. Which
I assume he brought the rugby ball to like go like, hey, we'll do a few passes like old days. This is like, I needed to distract the zombies, which saves the The king of the hosts?
The one remaining host, because we see that he's about to be eaten by all his colleagues.
They put up a good fight, in fairness, though. They've been prepared for this, despite baseball bats and the Molotovs going. They just flip that switch from host to most.
Survivors, yeah.
And what's the punchline of this episode? They're sitting.
Oh, they're sitting naked on the roofs as we're drinking beers. It's just like, oh yeah, man, this is. Things are going to work out after all, as long as we have enough beer and snacks and things from the convenience to last us until
Yeah. He crosses off like have drinks with my best bud, and the next thing on his list is meet the girl of his dreams. So next episode, I guess. Yeah.
You also have something written on there from earlier about something about flight attendant, and next episode is flight attendant of the dead. I guess you're going to meet a flight attendant who might be one of his dreams.
I thought he kind of cheaped out on the grow a cool beard when he just like drew it on with marker and was like, no, that looks crap. It's like, of course it looks crap. You got to give it time, man.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like many people are always going to see the kind of crappy in between stage. It's all kind of patchy. Just give it a month. It'll be a nice kind of foundation laid down for it there. Now, this is like keeping up the pace, keep up the energy, and that's fine. That's really, really good. But I also know for a fact that production has stalled, so we may not get it when we would like it for a little bit.
Then we got Dark Gathering, episode 2, Keitaro Gentoga, and episode 3, Friends. In episode 2, Keitaro's got to go and visit is his grandmother?
His very youthful grandmother, yes.
Yes, for his regular attendance to his hand. And the grandmother takes against this our spooky little girl, Yayoi.
She's the little brat who's been going around like breaking all the statues.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You broke 5 of them." It's like, "I broke 7."
I'll do it again too.
And she wants to go and look at the what's being done to Keitaro's hand, but instead Aiko explains it via a photo. So apparently the injury has left, it causes his nerves to get super enlarged and break out.
They grow outside of his hand that looks like white hair. So like horrible to think about, but also I was just like, and the fact that don't worry, says the grandmother, the anesthesiologist is right here, so numbs his hand and it's just there like saying mantras while cutting it with like a sacred sword, and it's just like, fucking hell, that's really horrible. All of this sucks.
Just a tall nerve even just brushing against a band of reps, it's just like on fire.
I would never use that hand for anything.
That was just shooting through your body.
And so as he's recovering, he finds one of Yoyoi's plush toys and carries it back to her, and then they notice him wandering around, and Yoi asks about a Japanese doll, and we get the explanation, there's a load of Japanese dolls in the basement, and you shouldn't go down in them because they're all haunted, and the worst one's got this one particular dress.
The grandma's telling her this like a ghost story, trying to scare the small child, but she's like, "Oh, fucking tell me more. This is good
also,
shit."
She's just seen Keitaro walk past with it, so it's like.
And she's also asked for a bunch of the nerves from the grandmother. It's like, "You mind if I fucking pocket a few of these?" And the grandmother's like, "The fuck? No, don't do that. That's weird."
It's like, don't eat them. You're not going to eat them, are you?
Granny, I'm going to take your sword. You're still recovering from dealing with it. I got to go and save Keitaro again. Because sure enough, he's in the basement, and the most powerful of the ghost dolls is trying to force its hair down his throat.
Yeah. Did not need to see any of that. That was horrible. I appreciate that it's not just him being like an idiot. It's just like, no, the ghost doll has hypnotized him into thinking this is a good idea. He's like, wait a minute, I remember being a child and being told by grandma, don't go down into the basement. And he's like, absolutely. Why the fuck am I down in the basement eating a fucking mouthful of hair from a doll? It's like, all right. I've been tricked.
Yeah, it's so cuts the hair with the sword, and spears the body of the doll with her trusty crowbar that she's got on her at all times.
It's a sacred crowbar.
Yes.
It's been blessed by the bishop himself.
shoves the sword in the ground and then does a running kick at the sword to
guillotine
the
doll.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And then at the end, it turns out she's brought the doll home and had reattached its head by using the nerve hairs that she's stolen from the grandmother. She's also stolen the doll.
Because she's talking about how you can like infuse your body parts into dolls, and it's like, check it out, these nerve endings are really sensitive. So if I flick that, and the doll's just shuddering in pain, and it's just like, now check it out. I'm gonna put it in my room with all my other fucking fantasy. I should have shown you this earlier, actually. Check it out.
Pretty cool, right? Just want some of your fingernails, all right? Just want to do a little experiment. Yes, experiments. Like, oh no.
Yeah, so the second episode is Keitaro is now trying to avoid this scary little girl who's constantly asking for his fingernails.
I do like the way a lot of the episodes do end. It's just like, oh, I guess she's all right. She's okay. And then she's a horror in her fucking self is how the episodes always end.
So yeah, she in the third episode, her plan is to get rid of the curse affecting Eiko and Keitaro by capturing a super powerful spirit and then have it kill the spirit that put the curse on the pair of them. And so she's going to go over to the mountains and capture herself a god. And this is the first point at which we see she's not quite as great at doing this as she thinks she is.
I think she has like the right set of tools and skills, and because she is just put this nose up. I can just like do things on site. As like a paper and some of my hair, I can make a little kind of paper doll to kind of substitute in for me, so it'll like take any evil onto itself rather than me and avoid it.
I can use it as lives in a video game, like a child might use.
However, this is like an embodiment, a malevolent embodiment of the goddess of motherhood and childbirth and children, who is like naturally like very much angry and stricken with despair at this shrine to unborn children, or she feels like aggrieved by them, that their souls aren't at peace out here. So she can fuck you up pretty hard with ghost babies. But I can do the same too, because fun saying, "Step back, lady. Go fucking kill this ghost baby. Put it in a paper doll. Don't think I won't do it? I'm crazy."
So like that's making the god kind of like, don't know if I should go for that. But then all the ghost babies they're just swarming. It's like, all right, still got to get the fuck out of here though.
So the whole is like, it's kind of like the sort of like loose sort of outline of like of a fun Shinto or Buddhist god. It's just like gas scrape face. It's just like backing away. Okay, we don't want no trouble, buddy. Let's put the ghost baby down, and everything will be all right.
And in the meantime, with this, Keitaro has obviously not went in the car on the road trip to Ghost with them because he's like, no, fucking scary. I don't like it. I'm not doing this anymore. And she's like, I better help save him. Time to get in over my fucking head. And as she said to one, is like, don't follow me. If I'm not back in an hour, send help.
He's hanging out at the stationery place, and even he says, How do you know how to find me here? Probably because you're a nerd. You probably would be in the stationery shop. But, no more about that. Yayo's in trouble. You're the only one who can do it because you're not just her tutor. You're her friend.
And so his plan is, I'll run around the shrine where she's hiding because she's I think she sprained her ankle or something, and all the ghosts will chase after me. And then
she sprained her ankle when a phantom umbilical cord wrapped itself around her ankle.
Yeah,
which turned out just to be a hallucination of a vine.
It's a pretty gross hallucination.
Very gnarly.
Yes.
The whole like the ghosts of like unborn or stillborn children was reminded me of that one bit of Mononoke, and
yes, it did for me as well.
All the imagery of that.
But yeah, so get all the ghosts to follow him and then grab her and leg it back to the car.
But she's not going to let Keitaro show her up. So while she's waiting for Keitaro to grab her, she then pulls out a new tool we've not seen before out of her back, which is a mallet, and takes the thumb of the goddess with her.
One of the fingers or thumbs, yeah.
I assume that will pay off down the line.
Yeah, it's all very slow setup for her as she catches the Pokemon that are evil spirits and forces them to eat each other.
Yes, because that's her explanation at the end. It's like, it's like you're capturing spirits just so they can fight them. And she's like, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
This guy gets it, yeah. No, but is he trying to like that there was like a very like powerful and ambivalent spirit that took her brother's soul, so I'm gonna need like an army of the biggest and baddest ghosts I can possibly make out there. And coincidentally, if you've got a really bad army of badass ghosts, it'd be able to be strong enough to overcome whatever hawk is cursing your hand.
And she explains the whole, like, listen, I probably should have explained the whole fingernail thing earlier. I know that was a bit creepy. So it's kind of voodoo kind of rules. It's like, I take that, give it to the doll. Now it's attached to me. So if the doll attacks me, it's hurting itself. And if the other doll's like, but it won't attack me, even if one gets fucking like, oh, I'm going to risk it, even though it'll hurt me to attack her. But the other dolls be like, no, we don't want to get hurt. So the other dolls will protect me. It's a system where I'm perfectly safe. And that's why everyone who is my friend and family is perfectly safe. Now, give me your fingernail so I can attach it. Look, I'll demonstrate with this god thumb that I stole. And it's just like, she kind of puts it down, and it's just like, hey, what did she do to threaten it?
Do you want do you want some fingernails? Just like, or let's say if you want to do for instance.
Oh, she kind of throws them into the room. It's like,
give it to me.
Yeah.
No, bad. You got to beg. Beg like the fucking little worms you are. Like,
it kind of spells out in blood. Please, may I have a fingernail? Pretty please. It's like, don't stain my fucking floor, you little fucking fingernail. And it kind of cleans up the ghostly blood, and it's like, that's okay. Now you fucking learned. So she just torches it a little, and then offers it as like, I'll give you one of my fingernails, and then they won't attack you anymore, huh? Pretty sweet deal.
Okay, when Jack Bauer also threatened the baby, and he said America how many times?
Yeah, sure.
Hugely hard to do. We gotta send these ghosts in the special rendition flight,
Next week it's University Life as they take their first lecture in Urban Legends, where their lecturer plays a cursed video cassette.
I got this video
from
Sadako Videos. All right, we'll give it a lash. We'll see how it goes. It was only at the end of this episode as well that they reveal that your one is the woman whose best friend who got cursed with him.
Yes,
she's been wearing gloves the entire time, lads. We could have took a rough guess. Yeah,
he was the only other person in his life that we are aware of at this time. It's just it's outside of his immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly who I thought it was later on this episode. Then we got Helck, episode 2, Anne from Management, and Helck, episode 3, The Unknown Enemy. So in Helck, episode 2, they have a race. They've given Helck, the most useless of steeds, a tiny cat for him to ride.
Hey, now.
I thought he was going to solve it by doing like a He-Man Battle Cat type situation, but it was even better than that. So just pretend to ride it and then give up pretending to ride it partway through.
He gives the cat a pep talk to begin with, because he was frightened by the loud bang to start the race.
And initially he's just running while the cat is running in between his legs as if he was riding it, but he's not. And eventually he just throws that away and just carries the cat underneath his arm. It's just like, yeah, good enough.
And also in this episode, we get, what's his name? Thingy the Blue.
Azudra.
That's him. Suggesting the next round should be, whoever recaptures the castle that was just taken by those winged knights, they get to be the new Demon King.
And he's the evil planning demon type guy, but he's been horrifically injured and should go back to bed constantly. Is whatever.
Also, it doesn't seem particularly evil. None of these people seem particularly evil.
I think humans are the evils is what it turns out to be, and it's like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like the more you see it, it's like these demons have it rough. Yeah.
Except there's clues that there's probably a third thing in the third episode, because when they run into what are they called? The
New World beings.
That's
it. Because they understand why the demon army may want to invade the human realm so much, under the Dark Lord in times past, because demon realm is shit. If we live in an atmosphere of absolute poison, all of our towns and cities got to be behind up on a barrier. Whereas just a lot of work and you can't go where you would like, and it makes one worse monsters happen outside there. up on the surface, just got fucking blue skies and green fields and fucking turnip juice. They got the works.
Yeah, and the whole thing of like, their entire atmosphere in the demon realm is very poisonous to them if they stay out in it too long, and they have to sit in barriers and towns and shelters and that kind of thing. But Helck just walked right through this. So that one of two things: one, his constitution and level is too high to be affected by it, or two, it doesn't affect humans. Was the other fucking thing, because the demons are like, oh yeah, we're trying to hold back the miasma that's affecting our thing, but we're doing the best we can. I was like, the demon spy kind of looking at it, is like, it's a fucking green field. You can just fucking walk around in it and not get poisoned at all. That's what the fuck. This is great.
So the reason this episode is called Anthem Management is because so they
Vermilio.
Yeah, she disguises herself as Anthem Management, though Hiura is pretty sure this Anthem Management seems really familiar to her.
Yeah, she was in the baking contest. Yeah. She was one of the judges, and it's like that must be it. Yeah.
I mean, the disguise is completely fallen apart by the third episode. Yeah, she's going to lead them to attack the castle.
Yeah, the rules be if whoever takes out the leader of the enemy force that took the castle is the winner of the tournament and the new Demon King. And I'm just here to supervise in case anything goes wrong. If you're in over your head, just leg it. I'll cover you. I'm higher up on the demon chain, so it's totally cool.
Yes, mistress. Don't call me that. Don't call me that. Okay, buddy. That's
mistress better. And from management.
Yeah. So our four finalists are Hiura, Ken Ross, the guy who thinks Helck's great, and Dorsch, a guy we've not really seen before. And to the point where I'm like, is this guy human as well? Because he's the only guy who hasn't got pointy ears. And we learned that in the third episode that he's got a special ability. When he eats a bean, he can create a force field. It just takes him 30 minutes to get it warmed up.
And he keeps accidentally taking out chocolate to eat because he's got a sweet tooth. And I was like, isn't chocolate a bean? Does that not count? Is it non-processed or something? Is it magic beans? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. It's a kind of cleric. You got a rogue. Got two fighters here. We got to parties round it out. And maybe there's a caster in the back, and she's only here as a neutral observer.
So yes, the third episode is them fighting their way to the castle, and we run into some sort of definitely not Number Hulk. It's got slightly too many arms. Number Hulk.
It's got the wiggly teeth. It's a different thing. Yeah,
a very different monster. And this is one of these New World beings, which are created by the poison, and the demons are shocked that apparently they run into these. The humans are into these as well.
Because Helck says, "I'm familiar with these," and it's like, "Oh, look, he's got a sword on him. He was only punching in the tournament. He's gonna fucking take out that sword, but he does like a flying kick."
Yeah, you didn't see him kick though, did you?
And then he takes out his tiny sword after it's been defeated. It's like, haha.
Dorsch is still impressed. He's telling everybody to wait. He's like, yes, he's kicked him. He's still going to do something with that sword.
You would have missed it. Don't ruin it for me.
Damn.
And when they get to the castle, there's 7 of these armored guys with wings. They fly to combat, and then Hiura gets her arm chopped off.
I like the various kinds of sneaking where they're like, "You're being too loud," and it's like, "Sorry, what? You're being too loud," and it's like, there's like 7 guys over there. It's like, duck down, big you tall motherfucker! Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's entirely Valerio shouting. It's what gives it away, despite what everyone else is doing. Yeah, so it's all very silly, right up to the point where Hiura gets her arm chopped off.
They could probably put it back on
using dark magic.
Yep.
I mean, more kind of like a mystery and doubt surrounding this Helck character. It's like, because the Lord Azardrow is all busted up because of a run-in with Helck, supposedly.
I was visiting the Dark King's castle at the time when it went down, and Helck was coming toward me. So I ran away and set up like a load of traps, and it's like,
he beat you up, did he?
He beat you up to the brink of death. It's like, I fell into one of my traps. And then I fell in a hole, and there was a bunch of monsters in it, and then I woke up in bed. So, lucky, I guess.
But this Helck guy, maybe he could be alright, Just for me, I get this sense of, there's still something a bit off about him, He's putting on, someone's putting on a front like that, he's probably got something to conceal, don't they? No one's that nice.
Then we got Undead Murder Farce, episode 3, The Immortal and the Oni, and episode 4, The Headliner Appears. I can't remember which one of these it was. I think it was probably for... There was a point of this where I was like, well, they're definitely saving animation. They're just doing this long explanation of who did it, and it's all fixed on one shot. And then once the guy reacted, it didn't cut. I realized, oh no, just Crunchyroll is frozen. It's still moving. It's still showing me the subtitles, and I can hear the audio.
Right.
Strange editorial choice to have a kind of stutter over here. Do is I put the subtitles in Spanish for in this section.
Yeah. So it was who I thought it was going to be. It's the son who was out hunting with his dad.
It's the guy who's been talking the least. Would you believe? Yeah.
And I like this sharpening ice bullet. Because then it just melts and just leaves no evidence behind. It's perfect.
It's not even the ice bullet. It's the fact that remember that we said that he kept his steak in a leather case. Well, he took the leather case, made the perfect shape of a holy water icicle, and then stabbed the regular fucking thing in afterwards. And it's just like, oh my god, fucking just the silliness of it.
He didn't even stab like the steak into there. Just just took some of her blood into a bottle and
just poured it on after. Yeah.
But like an idiot had to go and check because I guess no one just at that impulsive reaction to do so. That's when the finger just ran up on there. But his hand wasn't burned because he's a vampire. He's cut off his own fucking fingers and then just grew back new ones that weren't burned, covering up his tracks.
Yeah, and then Oni Hunter takes care of him.
It's like the first part, trying to take your licks, son. This is just how it goes in this world.
The first part has a lot of them doing the setup stuff, and the older brother kind of threatening him is making you think, ooh, is it the older brother? Because he's like, I didn't sign a pact with the humans. I'm a real vampire, and it's just like, all right, you have those opinions, so your little brother might have those opinions as well. It's kind of setting up a lot of the stuff that's revealed in the next one.
There's a big Sherlock Holmes homage with the coach driver, which then they point out by saying, "You're just like that British detective, Sherlock Holmes." She says, "Oh, how you flatter me by comparing me to Sherlock Holmes. I would not like to meet him because I hear he's a real weirdo." Which,
again, the amount of jokes that the two of them are making at each other, they're very fucking in jokes. It's like, you're one to say he's a weirdo. You're a head in a cage. That kind of shit.
We're very droll of you. We are too much, aren't we?
I love how much they love their fucking in jokes, and their in jokes are terrible. It's a real fun dynamic, basically. Yeah.
I like the coach driver constantly looking under the table when she's talking.
He's looking for the illusion. Yeah.
But deduces that his wife is really getting on his case about laying off the sauce, but she does love him because only someone who cares about you would mend your vest that many times.
And she goes through the thing of how it has to have been a vampire who did it because
the fucking lock was torn off the fucking the storage.
The lock was torn off the storage thing,
and that narrows it down considerably.
The stake was rammed into her with pure force. They didn't use a hammer. And the weird thing is, everyone was just like, yeah, it's weird that none of you noticed any noise of a hammer hitting it, because you wouldn't have thought that as weird because she was into furniture repair. And where is she in a room? Repairing furniture. So if you hear a tink, 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 it'd be just like, oh, that's Ma'am working on the repairing furniture. No problems there. So it was clearly done by a vampire just stabbing her. And also the whole thing with the stabbing her with the ice and having the bullet melt. That kind of fucking silliness, yeah.
There's a down a bit where she's like, oh yeah, no, humans and monsters can't get along. But then at the end she points out to him that we are immortal beings, so we have plenty of chances to give it another go. So even if it hasn't worked this time, you can lay low for a bit and then do it again.
Yeah, because and they're doing this in ways of in their joking and in jokes. It's like, the maid saying, remember I said I'd hit you earlier, or I was told to hit you earlier. I'm gonna fucking hit you with this suitcase now that we're leaving. And again, all this farce going on while the vampire lord is kind of like, I lost my wife and my youngest son. It's like, Jesus, I'm really fucked up from this. And she's like, you're immortal. Like it's cool. You can manage this better than fucking humans can. Don't worry about it.
As soon as you get digging upon saying, like he's encountered this tragedy 3 times his life before. And Tommy didn't just do his wife, but also his son. He's making some fucking pun about the number 5 because again, it's like
the number 5 sounds like his surname. I think
it was like how gory. It's like, oh for God's sake.
And then they drive off.
Wife and son dead. He's like slumped on the floor, like with his head in his hands. He can't believe like this tragedy's been heaped upon him again. Like, he finally escaped this like circle of violence, but no. You gotta fucking keep me this down.
But the scene, they were obviously saving a lot of animation budget, not a lot, but a bunch of animation budget for, was the reveal in the smoking room where everyone come in. I'm going to reveal who the murderer is. It's him. Here's why, and here's why that piece of evidence doesn't line up, but he made it work that way. And then your man's like, you'll never catch me. And your man's just like, all right, fucking showtime. Let me put out, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And he's just doing his whole spiel as he's about to beat this fucking child to death. It's funny and kind of horrific how he's just like, yeah, this is my part of the job. How easily he's just like making it a show. And I guess for us, the audience, but like just for the guy he's about to beat to death. Yeah.
Yeah, this when the kid says, I'm not like those, I'm different. And he's like, yeah, people your age all think that, and so you're exactly the same as them. But
yeah.
the difference is you're a murderer. So
and you gotta put down wild dogs, so yep.
Yeah, because I can hurt monsters and they can't regenerate when I hurt them. And then right at the end of the episode, we check in with Moriarty and the monsters in their stagecoach.
The creepy coop.
They are deciding not to get themselves involved with what I assume is the next plot. Lupin and the Phantom of the Opera.
Lupin has stolen the Phantom of the Opera's jewels. It's just like, oh my God, I love this kind of shit, man. It's good stuff.
You gotta get in Frankenstein's time machine to stop him.
Yeah, just go nuts. Have fun with it. Yeah.
Then you can tell me all about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Hidden Inventory 3, and Hidden Inventory 4.
Tragedy abounds, of which you were expecting, but man, I've forgotten just how summarily brutal it was.
Yeah, and it even frames it like using the narrative framework of how animes tend to pace themselves to fuck with you and make it more brutal, which I really appreciate.
It was just, we're all going to summer holiday because we always
they've defeated the villains off screen. Everything's going great. We were going to hang out in Okinawa right up until the end of the time period, then we're going to take a plane back. Yeah, and it's actually safer on a plane because we can have the dragon fly on the outside and no one can attack us. So
it was just again like from the guy, I guess, we've got your determination down. It's just like, if we gotta go out and save your friend, if you don't do that, then like, you got no turning back. Once you just do it, and it's just all taken care of, and it's fine. And I feel weird feeling I've talked about this before. What episodes were those again? Am I going mad?
No, I think
story 3 and 4 is what you said.
Yeah, 3 and 4. Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I just had a long flight yesterday, or
it's okay.
Before I'm a bit discombobulated.
No, it's all right because it was like last week as well. It was episode 3, but yeah, everything's going fine. They're having fun times in summer holidays, and it's kind of like the thing of, all right, we got to bring her in now, and everything's going fine. And he kind of turns at the gates of Jujutsu. Is it Jujutsu High where you meant?
Jujutsu High, yeah, because now through the barriers, so go to you can relax right now. It's just like, he's kind of playing it off of one thing. Damn, Brad, go on, get out of here. One saying, nah, man,
he's been leaving his eyes on the entire time to watch out for stuff. Yeah,
but that's when they get him. That's when Toji, when Zedin gets me, because that's what he was counting on. If one sent wave after wave of dudes after you, one of bodies to get mussed up by a pair of you.
You'd have to leave your powers on constantly, and then as soon as you fucking drop it, I'm gonna run in and stab you in the back. Haha, take that, Gojo, you fuck. And Gojo's like, well, you missed my vital organs, so I'm gonna stay here and fight him. You get her to the depot and get that shit sorted. I'll distract him. And he seems to like I could probably take out this guy pretty good because he's just like I can make the attract thing where I'm just making a giant, I guess, like singularity to like destroy the entire area around him to make sure
the blue one for like it contracts infinitely. So
he destroys everything around him. So it's just like you can't sneak up on me if I've destroyed like all the buildings around that you could have hidden in. But he's like, how can't I see this guy? And why does he have a cursed spirit wrapped around him? That's the weird thing. So he's not summoning a spirit. He just has a spirit and doesn't have any Jujutsu kind of powers. Yeah.
He just uses tools, you see.
Yes.
Or just other curse things. He just throws off little tiny little bug curses. You know, someone saying, he's like trying to cloud my fucking senses with one by just loads of little kind of things up in here. So it's so guy can't rely on others to try and pick him out of the crowd. But he still manages to sneak up on him because, like, you know, he's got, like, you know, he's got his whole fucking bag of tricks in here. He's putting all different kinds of fucking weird swords and things. But he's got a cheating story. He has the inverted divine spear, which is, you know, it can cut through and negate any cursed technique effect. So, like, you know, even if, like, you know, he kind of Gojo uses his kind of defensive posture to just, like, infinitely just, like, you know, you can keep kind of moving towards him, but you'll just like be
you'll never get
getting closer, like never actually touching it, but knife just goes straight through it until he just cuts the shit off him to make for certain.
This knife can't ever reach you, but it does cut through your curse technique and then stab you up. You're stabbed up. You're totally dead on the floor. Now to concoct the rest of my plan.
It's not even the stabbing. He just fucking just rends him asunder, and then like you know, he's like carving like a Z or an N. He's doing fucking like Zoro on him, just going just making sure that he disembowels this dude. With arse to his elbow.
But meantime, your man is taking the little girl down the lift, and she gets a tearful goodbye to her maid, her only family and friend, her best friend in the world, and just like, this is going to be your last chance to say goodbye. Say your goodbyes. Okay, go into the thing. It's like, do you want to go into the thing? Are you sure you want to go into the thing? Because you don't have to. And she's like, what? It's like, yeah, me and Gojo decided beforehand. It's like, you don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want him. We're going to help you get away if you don't want to join with him. And she's like, you know, I would actually like to live a life as a normal high school girl. He's like, yeah, no problem. Come on, let's go home. Credit music starts playing. Everything's happy. Bang.
Single bullet. The young girl is like headshotted off screen.
The end music that was coming in early was cut off by a bullet noise. And your man's like, yeah, I brought a gun as well.
Mission accomplished.
You can go home now because she's dead, so you can't protect her, and I've done my mission, so we're all cool, right? Let's just all fucking, we're all cool, right? No, next episode he's trying to kill this guy with as many fucking cursed spirits as he can pull out of his thing. Which I appreciate, like when he's supposed to be shooting lasers at one point. It's just like, no, those are tiny little squids that are like stabbing into things. Yeah. You can like freeze frame on. I was like, that's really cool.
It brings out the one. Must be really glad you got the slip mouth woman and
because he has to go by the rules of, it's like, okay, I have to answer you correctly in this regard. Let me fucking think about this. Yeah. And your man has explained his curse technique, which isn't a curse technique, but if I explain it to you, it'll be even better. It's like, stop fucking explaining it to me. I don't fucking want to know. Like, see, what I did is I ate the ghost, so you couldn't see him inside me. If the invisible man eats something, you can't see what he's eating, including a cursed spirit. So I regurgitate the cursed spirit. It gets into a big worm, and then I pull swords out of that. It's like, it's infinitely stacking things.
But it's you know, I guess just one drop on him again. Even if you do kind of know how it works, you still able to kind of get a bomb and, you know, and cut an X this time. You know, he's big on kind of like letters and like cartoons into him.
He specifies, like, I'm not trying to kill you, because if I kill you, all the ghosts that you've captured will get out, and that would be bad for me because I want to leave right now. So I'm just going to mortally wound you and leave.
And you might become a cursed thing yourself, you know.
And one of the reasons, obviously, he went ballistic is not only did he shoot the girl they were trying to protect in front of him, but Gojo's dead, because that's the only reason he could possibly be here. Gojo's definitely dead. So we see him turn in the mission. He's like, here you go. Have the body for you. It's whole except for the hole in her head. Other than that, all limbs intact. Are you happy out? And your man's like, brilliant. The cult will be delighted. And it's
We're
like,
good with this, you know?
It's like, don't you know this might kill all humans and you guys are humans? And your man's like, if that's the fucking will of our Lord, then absolutely, we are.
Maybe we're meant to go.
Yeah.
The two of them go like that. Again, these are the guys who put out the hit to kill a little girl. It's like going, cuckoo.
And your man's like, hey, you want to get a few beers? It's like, I promised I would never interact with you other than fucking work and shit because I hate you. You're horrible. Go away. And your man's like, all right.
All right, guess I'm heading down the track again.
But then Gojo appears, and Gojo is high from reviving himself with cursed reversal healing or whatever it's called. Reverse
curse technique. Yeah. That actually it's kind of funny that in the comic is like brain injury has come up actually again. And
yeah, it's synchronicity
doing
with
shit
that,
like this too many times because he has no real qualms about taking those risks because he's been raised to believe that he is the best and he will try and take risks that no one else will do unless they believe they were the best, including doing that kind of stuff to your own brain. But it's alright, he's back and he's putting out all the tricks. He's got blues, he's got reds, infinite expansions. He's kind of basically got the finger guns and it shoots a little red beam into knock you to repulse you infinitely.
Like he's your man's pulling out all the tricks. Like he's taking his knife that he was using, he's attached it to a chain as well, and he's just swinging that around as well. He's trying to catch him at weird angles, and it's just like, what if I shot a big fucking hole through you and everything behind you? That'd do it.
Yeah, I've always liked how they kind of go to kind of like the different applications of what Gojo's thing is. It's just like it's just like it's infinity, the power of infinity, but it's only within these kind of things you can go infinitely in and infinitely out. And if you kind of if you bring those hands together, you got something that infinitely expands and infinitely contracts, and you kind of try and bring them close to each other. It's going to create sort of this vacuum of power in between.
Yeah.
If I were able to kind of shoot that forward, annihilate anything in its path, including most of your torso.
Like I appreciate that he mostly missed the guy, but he did take his entire left side out of it. Like there's just a big hole where that used to be, and one of his hands is on the ground. He's like, "Well, I'm fucking dead." And he's like,
especially kind of reaching in the check is just like
reaching in the check and just pulling out blood.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel funny. It's just like, you're not gonna last. And he gets what the last words?
Any last words?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had a son, Megami. That was his name.
Megami. Keep an eye out for him in a couple of years. He's probably going to be a big deal. And I die. Yeah.
A real bag of shit. Told you that, and we haven't seen the last of you, right?
So two teenage boys go to the cult, and they're there to pick up the girl, and they're all the cult are just clapping, and your man's just like, these guys are humans, right? We're not allowed to kill them all. And Gojo's like, I'm aware of that. He's like, so you're not going to kill them, right?
No. Question mark?
It's worse that they're all applauding that you've shown up to foil their evil plan. Like that makes it worse. So I'm hooking up because it's like, well done, you failed. Ha 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 ha. You can't shoot us because we're humans, and it's like,
That's just the way, and that's how that kind of group operate now. We can hire a sorcerers and just kind of take them, but we won't face any ramifications for hiring a sorcerer as a hitman to enact our ends and possibly doom the spiritual future of humanity. But whatever. But that's them coming to their fucking breaking point. Gojo is just do we cross that line with this? Because what good is having these kind of rules, and that's the way fun get away fun saying, nah man, we gotta have a code, we gotta have rules, fun saying, what good are the rules if this stuff happens nonetheless, Yeah. Because the fun girl is dead, and also
the world is possibly
doomed, or is that all just a bunch of fucking hokum as well? And this isn't actually improving or making it better. It just seems to keep keeping things in a sort of a holding pattern that doesn't make anybody's lives, because no matter what you do, it's always going to be more curses and more negativity. So it seems kind of futile. you can see where
it's staving off the apocalypse rather than saving the world. Yeah,
I can see why Gojo might have the opinions that he does. Just like fun, I've seen like this them sit on their hands and this fun, just do the things quote unquote by the book, but you know, and they still look at even though they're not allowed to kill him. I was tempted by that to see that one day are different from me. If I got to kill him, it wouldn't be no thing, right? But they're just people every time look down on them nonetheless because of our supported status, because of our position in this world.
But sorry, no, go on.
Yeah, and then Get was also a question. Yeah, we've got to have rules as well. But they're both thinking about how do you want to break this down, but in different ways.
I was liking how it was like presenting nothing as a threat to our heroes. They're totally going to win every time, and then it takes that away from them in a really like unsatisfying way. But like it works as you snatch that satisfying narrative away from them, because like shit's not going to always fucking come out clean for you guys, no matter how powerful you are.
Yeah, and it's just an account of like he's very physically capable. He's otherwise a sneaky bastard who brought like a gun to a knife fight. Yeah. Because I can expand it infinitely. I can summon cursed monsters. Yeah, well, I can shoot you in the fucking head with a gun. Like best stand is gun. Like
like he did try shooting your man with the gun partway through their fight, because it's like fuck it, I have the gun, and your man just summoned some spirits to get shot for him, and it's like worth the fucking goal, like honestly, because it's like, is everyone immune to bullets? Not everyone is. It's worth fucking checking.
Yeah. I think it's like of Mai Zenin, it's like Maki's like twin sister from the other school. Like her cursed technique is she concentrates really hard, and like once a week she can generate an extra bullet for her gun.
We don't all get good ones, yeah.
I got it all figured out. Just bring an extra magazine. Just keep it inside like a ghost.
Because while they're counting your bullets, you're putting in a magic extra bullet. It's just a regular bullet, but it's an extra one, so it's pretty good.
Or just keep magic ghost room. You just hold all your stuff. That's much easier. Has to manifest a ghost gun. You just bring your own gun. Bring two guns. That also works. This Starter Fest looks quite well too. Especially when Ghetto is like bringing out all of his ghosts out of the bag and a few times matching up. That dragon was pretty cool. Too bad it's gone. Maybe we can get another one. But the way how he turns out is probably for the best. That big one is gone. Same with the snake that woman. But kind of flipping around with the kind of the weird like the mishmash of tones of it as well. Because even maybe as you kind of mentioned, just kind of remembered. Oh yeah, there's some kind of comedy bits in this. You get lots of that in the Summer Holiday, but even like the fun bad guys in kind of gloating a bit in their in a successful like hit carried out. Kind of doing that.
They're
again,
still just idiots.
Yeah. Oh man, not long to go until it all goes off the rails. So.
Then we've got Bungo Stray Dogs, Season 5, Episode 52, The Answer to Everything, and Episode 53, Hero versus Criminal. In Episode 52, we've got the wrap-up of Radpo's Strongest Man arc, as he's being led away by the police, but then he's freed by the police. And then
by a police, but then the police show up to back up the police who are there, but they're the good cops, the cops who are about solving crime and not about being police. It's more important for them to do public good than it is for them to be proper police. Yeah. So the good police are fighting the bad police.
A bunch of the agency are now in Anne's room. Atsushi's so happy to see Kunikida, and then just like, oh no, your hands, and then they're like, yes, but we've got
She can fix this.
Yeah, she can fix this. That's why we're a team. We've all got powers who can fix the problems that the other ones can't solve on their own.
It's like, your hands, but that's based on your ability, and also it sucks that your hands got fucking destroyed, and she's just like, don't worry, I've got a saw. I'll take him to the brink of death. It'll be fine. I was just like, that sucks. That sucks that you have to go through that first, but you get your hands back, so yeah.
Because it's got to find Kenji and Tanizaki, and then we'll all be together again. Meanwhile, at the United Nations, first of all, at the Hunting Dogs office, the United Nations delegates are going, please, Fukichi, will you please...
will you please become king of the
proposal.
world police? We got this cool idea for like world police where you're not going to be stopped by borders. You can police wherever in the fucking world, and you're the man to fucking head it up. And he's like, I am severely fucking hungover right now. Please.
I'll go, but it just I don't want to make any big speeches for and say, oh, he makes a big speech naturally, and you can kind of see, oh, why would somebody like him be like, be put in as leader of like, a possible like international like police organization? Because he's so charming, he makes funny jokes in his speeches. Just like, he's just literally going, if I gotta say a few words, be a public speaker.
This is like these guys came to me with this idea the other day, and I didn't really take it in because I was severely fucking hungover. They're all laughing, and he's just like, "No, I'm being sincere. I'm a fucking mess of a human." He convinces them it's like world police is a good idea because all of them were just like, world police, that's a terrible idea. But his words are just like, everyone's like, oh fucking yeah, actually we can see that working.
Yeah, there's a reason why that's probably happening because we learned by the end of the episode.
Seems a bit convenient that this guy who's so close to embroiled with investigation be suddenly involved of like a world police that has like little to no like limit in its remit to pursue crime and destroy it.
We do get the accounts of like 3 things he's done historically, which is why people love him so much as well.
Yeah,
so.
3 big jobs where he like saved a bunch of people and ended a big fucking conflict and that kind of thing.
Also, load of werewolves. Yeah.
Yeah. That whole werewolf thing. Ooh, that was a mess.
Oh yeah, and like the back of Frankenstein's time machine. Man, we came out of that in One Piece somehow. And I don't know, only because of him.
So he's had the big UN meeting. They're probably going to make him king of the world police. And Rampo's in his office going like, "Hey, you got 5 minutes?" And he's like, I can give you 5 minutes, but that's it. Like,
Rampo trusts him because the chief of the Army trusts him. And is there anybody you can trust? It's Guy Fukuchi. And everyone is saying you can trust this dude. I think that means you definitely cannot trust him because who needs that kind of much like shoring up a reputation.
I could use my knowledge to determine
to say exactly the right thing to convince you.
Or I could manipulate you to try, but I'm gonna just trust. I'm trusting the president is right about you. So, and he's like, okay, I'll agree to this deal. We'll meet together on the Boswellian, and we'll discuss the plan. It's him, Atsushi, and Rampo. There's a bit of comedy. Atsushi is like, Rampo, will you use your superpower to figure out who Kamui is? Leader of the Decay of the Angel.
I probably should figure out who the mastermind is. Yeah.
But you do it for a Scooby Snack. But you just want to do it until he's given a Lamoon drink. So yes, he's given the drink. It's a fairly simple thing to deduce because there's only a few things he needs to put together. It's like needs somebody to be charismatic enough to put these 2 wild cards in the Decay of Angel for it to work. There's got to be a connection to the detective agency.
Yeah,
it'd have to be a connection to like a guy at the top of the detective agency, really.
Well, yeah, and it's just a detective. And the most important thing is he has to have profited from the terrorism. And he's like, oh no, excuse me, while I just walk over here and grab this flare, set it off, and then avoid being sliced apart by Fukuchi, who is indeed Kamui, and I will escape into a book.
Here's what you do. Watch out for his sword.
Watch out for his sword. His ability works like this. Fuck, I'm in a book. Never mind. And Atsushi's kind of like, I've been okay up to now because I've not been on my own, but now I'm all alone on my own. I'm in a lot of trouble. I know I could take him out here because he's like, hey, I got that paper. Ooh,
also, my legs over there. Also, at this point, his legs over there.
Yeah. But you can roll your leg back because you got the tiger powers. So, like, and he's like, stay and fight or run. I should probably fucking run, but he has the page.
Yeah, but this sequence is the clue as to what his other ability is.
Yes.
In that, because when we first see him telling him about the attack, he doesn't get it all out. But when we hear it again, when he tells him, he told you what my attack was, and then you see it back, and he told him what the attack was. So that means he'd already pulled out the sword we see him use in the second episode already, because then he had altered the time slightly. So he probably didn't catch his foot the first time, and then he had to pull the sword to make sure he chopped his foot off.
He won later, as we're going to explain. He's using Bill and Ted 2 rules to be impossible to beat, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Or it is some like King Crimson bites the dust kind of monarchy. Keeping animators. But yeah, I would say maybe Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure at ending with probably
the ending is what I'm thinking. Is it like, well, I've already won, because even if I lose, I can just like make sure I don't lose in the past.
Yes, you're right. Then he's saying his leg's been cut off, and he's like, no, it's not that my leg's been cut off. It's not that I'm fighting this guy. It's that there's nobody fighting beside me. And
he's no support. Like, that's the thing that really scares him. Yeah.
He prays that somebody will fight by his side. Anybody.
An angel, some kind of goth angel will come to my rescue. He's like, yes. Like Akutagawa was like, I'm here.
Yes,
I've been in disguise. I had my hair in a hat and everything. You couldn't have told it was me.
Prove why Atsushi and Akutagawa should not get on a boat together, because anytime they've been on a boat together, that boat has blown up and sank or crashed off the sky, because it was like a flying space wheel created by Herman Melville.
They're not safe on the same mode of transport. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the next episode is just these three guys fighting for the entire episode.
With some flashbacks of like, the reason why I'm helping you in this circumstance is
because this guy told me to, because I gotta be the best, and then I felt like it was just because like, he's pretty, because you're new favors, you was new favorite for us, just because everything is a test with that motherfucker, so he's just testing me to see if I got the stuff. Maybe not to be for a second, maybe I got the stuff to kind of be my own man. And I see this one out, even though I hate you, but I gotta say, I suppose I respect you, because only I wouldn't respect somebody and give him I won't give my coat to somebody I didn't respect, because that's our cool team up move. You put on the coat and you get tiger claws, and you get kind of spooky gothic tiger claws when you're doing this. But fights is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of it's more Sushi to learn to trust him in this time round, isn't it? It's like.
It's a lot of Atsushi's internal monologue with it, as opposed to his, yeah.
Yeah,
Akutagawa is willing to work with Atsushi for terrible reasons, which should be
absolutely terrible ones.
Because Dazai is just a horrible person to Akutagawa. But then, I guess from his point of view, he's a horrible person who has made Akutagawa a better person than he would have been otherwise.
But it seemed like when I'm taking a story, they're attacking, but they're only attacking like one aside from two sides. It isn't the same as like trusting and doing like a team up maneuver.
Yes, but it's the bit where they briefly go into the boats. And
like Atsushi tries to not run away, but like escape the deck of the boat, where he ducks in one of the windows. They have to fight some agent who's there. It's like, I don't want to kill you, terrorist, because you might hurt my wife and kid. Ha
Yeah.
Like, very clever, random fucking character. And then Akutagawa kind of chokes him out. It's like, no, don't kill him. And it's like, wait, you left him alive. You kept your promise. You haven't killed anyone in the meantime. It's like, absolutely, fucking, I'm going to kill you specifically after the 6-month period is over that we agreed upon. So I'm going to keep my thing. And there's like, there's more guards coming. It's like, all right. We got to do our combo attack. That's the only fucking way we're going to do it. But you got to work with me here on this. I hate you.
Guys, do it in such a way to catch him completely off guard.
We got to hit him on the first hit.
Can't make it obvious when we're doing this.
Yeah. So Fukushi's first thing is his power is that he increases the power of an attack 1,000-fold.
And whether that's like the distance, the power, like, because initially he's swinging like just some rebar off the railing of the boat, and he's like, "Watch out! Don't get hit by that. It's 1,000 times more powerful." And it's like, "Oh fuck, yeah, it is. That's not good."
And then when that's not sufficient, he pulls out a sword, which was originally intended for ceremonial use until he nicked it.
It's the sword of time and space.
It had a weird thing, like, it was made of from a meteor or some shit, but it had a fun special property where it could teleport, like, but it was like that took a lot of energy to kind of achieve it, so it could only move like an inch forward.
I think he said like it could move like 12. It could teleport like the blade
12
inches or something like that.
Yeah, sometimes
it was
1,000 inches is a long distance.
Yeah, it specifically mentions that it was created by ability users 1,300 years ago.
Yeah.
I believe this is setting up. Obviously, we know from the book. We don't know if the book was made by an ability user. I think this is like the first thing. Like, there can be items
of them making artifacts, basically. Yeah.
But he points it out in his speech to the UN that, like, there's two, like, great threats, to the world in terms of criminality, and that's like ability users and like a new technology, and combining those two together can make like an unparalleled criminal threat that no one's ever comprehended. Such as I might do, where I give access to ability users and technology.
Yeah. As he says, he literally stole the sword, which was only used for ceremonial purposes. It wasn't used to murder people until I got it, because its ability of only being able to teleport the blade like anywhere a couple of centimeters away isn't that good until you multiply that by 1,000. Now I can stab you wherever the fuck you are.
Whenever you are.
He says it's time and space when he describes it. So he only uses the space part initially. Yeah. He tries to get Akitsugawa to join him, and he appears to. He's going to go for Atsushi. And then Atsushi
I love the thing is like, hey, if you work for me, I'll make sure you're the most powerful user thing. And when you rise up the ranks, I'll let you back to your master. No fucking strings attached. You just need to kill that werewolf for me. I'm sick of killing children. It's so fucking annoying. It's just like, ugh. And your man's like, I do hate that were-tiger, so I'm going to do it because otherwise I'd make Dazai not proud of me, or something, the way he puts it. And your man's just like, what would make Dazai unproud? If he came back and said he killed me, Dazai wouldn't be proud of him. He means he wants to work together. It's a secret code that only us understand.
Also at this point, Fukichi, we'll call him Kamui at this point. Yeah. Kamui has explained to him what they should have done to fight him.
Yes.
And then they do it in this scene. It's like one of you has to act as a distraction while the other one attacks, and that is indeed what they do.
Also to prove that, that I was right when I said it, because I can just undo all of this and try again.
Yes.
So while they're running at each other, about to kill each other, they just run past each other. Your man loans him his jacket, and he's like, "Ha, got your arm, fucker."
They do that again, and he cuts his arms off. And then Atsushi's like, he slashed something. He didn't slash me. He didn't slash you. He cut his arms off.
You okay?
He's also made the mistake of not killing him immediately, because he wants him to make statements to clear the detective agency's name.
Just steal the magic paper. It's fine. Just magic paper your way out of the situation.
And then it refocuses on the clock, and the clock strikes the same number it just struck, and we get the attack again. But this time, he's won, and he has killed Tagawa.
He stabbed Tagawa through the chest, back in time, and he's like, you guys must have defeated me. That's why I sent my sword back in time to stab
5
you.
minutes ago to get
thereby me winning before you defeated me. So I win, no matter what fucking happens. I didn't explain that part because I was keeping that in my pocket. Your man's like, well, if I've only got a little bit left, time to do fucking another attack. Not use any last words. I'm just gonna do it in an attack. And your man's like, yeah, but I'm going to go back in time and stop you from doing that desperation attack, because that's how my power works. Were you not paying attention to
cause and effect?
Yeah.
Hello.
So you'll use your power to get away, and now I'm going to go back in time and kill you before you get away. Like, I'm very cheap, basically. Yeah.
Is that how that ends?
Pretty much.
It ends with him getting his throat cut by the look of it. Whether that happens now, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his throat cut and his head cut most of the way off, because it seems like it kind of like falls back on a hinge of skin.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
I think it played over into the next episode, and that's what I'm trying to remember. Like, where did this end, and where did the next episode start? As is the usual problem. Okay, that's fair enough. I didn't want to say anything that didn't happen actually with them.
Man, I thought this came together really well. Yeah.
Yes. It completely throws into disarray what we know about the bad guys in the first place. Decay of the Angel. It's like, even the rest of the members of Decay of the Angel know that he's the leader?
No, they don't actually, because he's always been the most secret one. So
basically, he could win as the terrorist or win as the new king of the police. Where it's just like, it doesn't matter. I'm fucking in charge, no matter who fucking wins.
He's the evil version of the chief, because they both have a similar background, being these great heroes, but he's always been walking the streets and crime and seriousness. He's never been on a battlefield. He hasn't seen the things I've seen, man. You weren't there, man. And he's kind of got like an axe to grind about that.
Yeah,
I think he's dumb. I think it's more like it.
Yeah, because he's talking about, like, it's like, oh yeah, well, did you get tortured in battle? Is that what drove you crazy? And it's like, oh yeah, I did a lot of torture in battle. Yeah, it did, that me torturing people definitely changed me a bunch. I'll tell you that much. It's kind of like it brought out the darker aspect of him or something like that. But like the chief was right about him, of the man he was. It's been years. He's changed as a person in the meantime. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, if you've seen the casting announcements, you know who the fifth member of
yes
the group is. But I believe they will show up next week, and then that will be the start of the arc that apparently isn't finished in the comics yet. So I don't know.
Well, it's really kind of tooling around with the usual rhythm of these things, because like, ordinarily the Akutagawa actually team up happens at the end of the arc, and they both punch the main villain of the arc at the same time, and that's it done with. What happens in the middle of the arc, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That means that the whole game has been changed, baby. Rewriting this book is going to have a twist ending.
And the way the two episodes work is like, Rampo's got it all figured out, and it's like, except for that one thing that he refused to figure out, and he's like, fuck, I should have been paying attention to that one. That's a very important one. Which is why the second one can be just fighting.
I know. I mean, it's both kind of good and bad, and in similar ways that, like, you know, it brings the whole back up points. Oh man, it's going to be right. We're getting the gang back together, we'll get out of this tight spot, you know, and then it just crushes it down again a little bit more. The other knee on your fucking neck. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just as soon as they catch a break, immediately it's like fun knocking the fucking drink out of their hands. You don't deserve that. Okay, nice.
So these were the first three episodes we've been through this season now. So we're up to chapter 87 in the comic.
Okay.
We've covered chapters 80 to 87 in the last three episodes. There are only 108 chapters, but there are some 0.5 chapters mixed in there.
I hate to ask, but like, how many light novels have we not covered?
Oh, there's loads. And I think there's some
no
comics as well. But
so they have plenty of material to cover that I won't want to watch.
Well, the probably we should point to know it'll be like, maybe like the most recent 5 or so chapters of the comic, or whatever, that probably will not be make it in. So it's probably just some again inflection point in this, so they can reach. Hopefully keep it off.
So where a character shows up who we've not seen for a while, and there's a relevant light novel involving them, they could follow at the end of the series.
Right.
We will see, or maybe it'll all be manga stuff, and then there'll be a very long break before there's any more. Or there won't be a long break, and it'll just be entirely light novel stuff for a season.
Yeah, because it's a great season opener, because it didn't open with a light novel, basically. Yeah,
it's good. It's very good. Meanwhile, in Hokkaido, it's bears in Hayakusho Kazoku, Noble Farmer. Episode 3, bears. Episode 4, vegetables. We get a description of what happens to bears. And also missing school trips because there's been a bear sighting, but then you get to see a dead bear, and they've killed the bear and they bring it for all the children to have a look at.
So which bears are tastiest?
Yes. What to do if you see a bear? If you're in a barn with a bear? Was it run, throw onions, grab its tongue?
Yeah, those are things, they're not like run, don't run, they're very fast. Onions, onions here, that's not going to work. Grab its tongue, are you insane?
This is a story of thinking there was a bear in with the young cows, and it turned out it was an adult cow.
Just one got out, so it's like it's hot breath in the back of your neck and was just one of the cows. Don't cut its neck, please. It's more valuable.
So, episode 4, they go to a country fair to look at some funny vegetables.
Auctioning off.
Yes.
The boob watermelons made more money than the turnip that had a bikini drawn on it.
They move pumpkins.
Or the pumpkins, even, whatever. Anyways, a large round fruit, but two of them kind of fused together and make a big pair of boobies. So that made a whole $5.
Amusingly shaped vegetables are a universal constant of humor. Yeah.
Yes, that was the thing, and also I was like, okay, I come from a town where they have a pumpkin festival.
There you go.
Still cannot escape it. We also are introduced to her sister, who is drawn as a brown cow, because she was telling her sister that after she'd been cutting pumpkin vines when she went to sleep, all she saw was pumpkin vines, and her sister said, "I don't believe you," and then rang her back later to say, "Yes, the same thing happened to me." And then they kind of have to put in the script that not all farmers think you have to cut pumpkin vines so thoroughly as the author does, and the author's having none of this because she describes herself as a vine addict.
What's this rewilding shit? I gotta do it, so you gotta do it too.
And then introduction of little plastic things you stick beneath the pumpkin to make sure it makes a nice round shape. There we go. That's your updates on vegetables and bears. As somebody writing a panel for a few weeks about bears, I was like, there's some more bears I can put in.
There's some facts. Here's how you kill them and then display them for educational purposes.
Is this the most educational about bears in Japan, or is it is there other bears that you've come across that are more educational about bear facts?
Probably Golden Kamui's bears have been more.
It's pretty solid with bear facts. Yeah, that's true.
But it also does have a story where a man tries to.
That's probably happened at least once in history. I imagine probably someone's going to.
Then we got Ikimono-san. Well, I'm sure a bear will eventually show up. Episode 3 though is a cheetah. Dog is racing the cheetah, but he can't keep up. So Ikimono paints dots onto the dog, and now they can catch up. But then the cheetah sees a gazelle and decides it's going to kill the gazelle, so the dog has to wrestle it.
The dog holding down the cheetah while it was trying to grab it, like you're trying to hold down a cat, and the boy quickly painting spots on the gazelle just had me in fucking stitches. That was good shit. And then it's like the Superman versus the Flash, them racing across the world.
Yes. But in reality, he's painting dots on himself and the dog. And then they run off, and then he's animated as if he's running really fast, but then he's just slowly going across the street.
Like a child pretending to be the Flash. Yeah.
And then Mammal, someone else try and describe this because it's so strange.
So I guess the dog is there on the porch, and it's just like, here comes now with he has the basically glass in the clipboard. He's just showing various photos of marine mammals, your seals, your dugongs, your walruses. He's going.
And he makes a certain noise for each sea animal. I'm not a huge fucking mammal biologist or anything, but I'm pretty sure they don't make those fucking noises, but they are consistent. Sea lion makes this, seal makes this. That kind of thing. And then
the dog is hypnotized by this, and he starts to find he's got morphing between it's a walrus, it's a seal, it's a sea lion. He keeps morphing around. It looks really crazy, man. I'm in the scene, I'm doggy pattern, and he keeps changing around to different things like that. And what's happening here is actually he's just whispering, he's going in my ear, and it's going the boy
this is all the dog's dream, and the boy's basically like influencing the dog's dream by making the sounds of marine mammals
or
at the
perceived
dog,
sounds, anyways, yeah.
and the dog is now having this visual fucking thing in his dream. Also, there's an otter there. That's the other thing. Yeah, he hasn't done otters, I don't think, in the dream yet. But there you go. It's the strangest. It's not the funniest one, but it is the strangest one, and that's an achievement, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be careful with these because these are only up for a limited time, and I actually missed episode 3 when I was abroad. They couldn't hold it down.
Really?
Yes.
So get them while they're hot.
Fuck! I need to steal these.
They only have the first episode up permanently.
Oh, okay.
And then it's the Ninjala situation.
Of course.
Cycle. But there's one more thing, which strictly wasn't in the week that we said, but hey, let's talk about it right now. Episode 1070 of One Piece. Luffy is defeated, the determination of those left behind. More specifically, the last 5 minutes, when the drums of liberation are finally heard in the anime.
And you have going someone just going spare on the drums, which is great.
Yes, I mean, if that was your heartbeat, though, I think you should really go to a doctor.
It's like ectopic. That's why it sounds so fucking funky.
I was expecting something a bit on the lines of the Akira soundtrack. Just dong dong.
Yeah.
Dong and so forth.
It's more exciting because it's a party because it's joy boy.
It's supposed to invoke the thing they'll talk about next week. I was trying to remember. I had to look up this week. I was like, when does that reveal happen? Next episode. So I got to keep stum for all the people who already watching the animators. And that stuff's not even in the preview, so might not even be in the next episode. I also like the bit when it goes into the to be continued and there's just like rubber ball sounds in amongst the drums.
Boing boing. It's just like, good stuff.
The performance of Zanish is really good because it sounds like I've been waiting 800 years to hear this sound again.
I mean, like, we haven't been waiting as long, but we're delighted to. So yeah.
Yes, yeah, and the bit with Nami beforehand.
The bit with Nami is great beforehand, where she's like fucking Kaido out of it, going like, "That's bullshit. There's no way Luffy's dead. Even if he died, he'd kick your ass." It was the bit with Kaido, and your man is like, so you know what the fuck you've just done, interfering with my cool fucking fight with this kid. It's just, and because he's seen Luffy literally like fly around deflated as a balloon, and the guy, the CP0 guy, he's just like, you, and then everyone else. That's what's fucking happening, says Kaido for the entire fucking episode, basically.
Gentoga's your favorite character. They've got models of him in the planet.
Anybody's favorite character unless you really hate Luffy.
I really like people who interfere with really good fights. Yeah.
That
he's going to get even better one because of his actions now. So maybe he was a real hero after all.
Yeah, and so next week, Gear 5. Moment everyone's been waiting for, and then it's like, how many episodes could they sustain how amazing it looks? Will be the other question. But,
yeah. Well, they got a lot of fun stuff to do. It is a gift to animators, basically.
Yes, for sure. From the bits in the, because there was stuff they trailered it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's stuff which was in that which isn't in the preview for next week's episode. So it does look like there's going to be the first punch hitting Kaido. Definitely seems like it's going to make him instantly more cartoony as Luffy makes contact with him.
The eyes do pop out, and just like one.
Yeah, you hit him so hard he turned into more of a cartoon. Amazing.
Yes.
It turns out Joy Boy is takes to every spirit lives on, from generation to generation. And she can, because it's awakened now, you can imbue that into all the environment around him now.
Yeah. I mean, like, we were kind of getting that lead into when your man was talking about you've made your fist into iron, but you need to like push that into the thing, and that's what he's going to be doing with making everything wiggly and rubbery, basically. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm sure Sunday, whatever remains of Twitter will be going wild about all my recommended things. What's happening on Twitter will be One Piece related on Sunday morning.
It'll finally bring it down. Liberation awaits for everybody. It's going to break everybody.
I noticed they've promoted to a tiny little ad now.
That's you can hide. You can fucking put your fucking scarlet letter away. We know what you've done.
Yeah.
You're gonna suffer here for all eternity, like all the rest of us. That's gonna follow you around. That's gonna be fucking like something like we try and log into any other news site and just say, "Nah, it's you. Nah. You made your choice. You put your money where your mouth was there."
I thought it was kind of funny to compare. Sorry, were you gonna say?
That's all right. I was going to wrap up. So if you got anything to say it now.
Okay. I thought it was kind of funny the way they were pushing the live action One Piece, and everyone's just like, what's the anime doing? Oh, more interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. That live action One Piece also looks very interesting to me.
I mean, they look good. A lot of the actors. I'm not sure about the way it actually looks. But I'm liking a lot of the performance for what I've seen in the trailer. Yeah,
the sets are kind of. I think that's what they have. They put a bit of their thought into how it's kind of fucking like fun Pirates of the fucking Caribbean, Cutthroat Islands, or I think it's like
it's pirate theme park looking, which is probably the right way to go. Yeah,
it's probably kind of fun to do. But I was just thinking as well of some of the moments that were in that trailer, because in the episode just then, when Nami's like saying, "You was not there. You're fucking lying. He wouldn't die like a punk." To get back to fun. Yeah, because she's fun. To get back to that bit in Arlong Park, fun. Yeah. If you put a hat in there, Luffy help me, and fun. Yeah, it's good. They're never gonna pull out that same level of fucking like gravitas.
No. I've seen how Arlong looks because of that trailer.
It doesn't look good. If I was like in a play and I needed to I needed to bring out tears, fake crying, I probably would think of that scene amongst others in One Piece to get the tears going. It's just like, yeah, it's one level of work. We needed to fake cry for a second.
Yeah, I can't see them getting the same kind of emotional punch from bits like that, which they're obviously trying to do in the live action. Also, you forgot to talk about Roboco.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, yes.
She's gonna kill all humans for this.
Episode 15, Motsuo and Meico, and episode 16, Bondo and the Button. Bondo and the Button has pushed Motsuo and Meico completely out of my brain.
Yes.
That's the problem, yeah.
Motsuo and Meiko's important thing is it introduces Motsuo as dad, who is just...
Yeah, actually, that's true.
It only dawned on me this week is that he's just the rich kid character from Doraemon with a giant mustache.
He's all grown up from Doraemon, yeah.
And a bigger bow tie, so he's grown up.
It grew with him.
I think size-wise, he's exactly the same size.
Yeah. I mean, everyone in Roboco is kind of like on the short side, so that's fine. But it's basically Motsuo has to do extra work, and Meiko's like, wow, he's really fulfilling his father's promises, where he has to do all these things, but you have to meet with the Prince of Sweden and also do your fencing lesson and also do your scuba diving lesson. He's like, I'm going to do all three at once, so because I got to go catch Tsuchinoki,
Tsuchinoko, a fat snake.
Tsuchinoko, the fat snake, with my mates by lunchtime. So, and it's just like he works it all, and he works out a new theory for dynamics of space travel and shit, like on the wall like a crazy person, and his dad's like, well, I have to let him off by the rules of our fucking thing. And Bondo and the Button is like, whoa, Roboco's turned different, she's different now, and she's got a button, boop, despite it saying like, do not push this button on Roboco.
We're back in time. Oh, it seems to be like we're in feudal Japan. It's like, are you Madoka? No, I'm old Madoka-san. I was like, oh my goodness, looks just like her. And so, I've heard this one Roboco older maid's fun saying, "Oh, I've heard of that. There she is. Into Roboco is there." And that's not all.
Like I can never get home. I can never get home because I can't get Roboco and I can't go back in time. It's like Roboco's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And it's like another Roboco shows up and it's like time paradox. Yeah.
What's up, guys?
And then there's a wild Roboco as well.
It's like, oh, that's a feral Roboco. Keep it away, like. But so Bondo gets back to the future using presumably one of the time paradox Robocos, and
presses the belly button. Whereas it's just it's the bow this time, as opposed to
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, travels back forward, and everyone's glad to see him, and also Magic Gorilla, the gorilla
the
of
bandit
the past.
past ancestor of Gochi Gorilla is there, and he's like, "Oh no!" Gorilla's like, "Goodbye, goodbye. I'm glad you're back."
Fading away.
So but they solved that off screen. Gachi Gorilla is resilient despite becoming a time paradox.
Yes, they explained that they went back in time, and again,
put it back. It was fine. We put it back. We're sorry.
Yes, we should say that the Motsuo and Meico, the stuff with Motsuo and his dad, that is an ongoing subplot.
It is, yeah. That's probably why I couldn't remember, because I was like, oh yeah, we cut back to that several times. Yes. We used that plot point a bunch, yeah.
Yeah, which has kind of sort of been resolved at this point in the comic recently.
So, yes.
I think we're wise to only put 2 on the list, because I think I would have broken my brain if we tried to cover all 14, which had dropped since last time.
No.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you do 2, you eventually catch up. So we'll just keep on at that.
Right, that's it. I can wrap up and then rest my brain. I will speak to you all again next week. Bye.
Good night, everybody.